Okay, today we are putting a hydration system on a motorcycle, and this is pretty universal. You can make it fit just about anything. Now, your first question is, why go through all this work to make a system to put on the bike? Why don't you just get a hydration backpack? Well, the reason I don't have a hydration backpack is because hydration backpacks, almost all of them that I've had, leak. I haven't spent more than $40 on a hydration backpack, but generally they leak at some point. Also, when you have them up against a backrest, you think, oh, like a waterbed, right? No. More like an uncomfortable bubble in the middle of your back all the time. They just don't go well with backrests. If you wanted to go the real cheap route, go to any farm supply store or Walmart or whatever and buy a hydration backpack and then just strap it to your saddlebag or your back seat. It's okay, but your hose is going to be a little on the short side. If you go to Moto Jug, which I'll put the link down here, Moto Jug sells something like this. It's $100 and it comes with a hose. You have to buy the jug separate. So it'll look like this, but with Moto Jug it's $100 for this sleeve and the hose, and then you have to buy a how much was it? A $30 Ozark Trail 1 gallon jug or a $50 Arctic, RTIC jug to put in it. This was $62 on Amazon, and I'll put the links to all this stuff down in the description or at the end of the video or whatever. I spent $10 on insulation. I spent $9 on a bite valve with extra green soft parts. $8 worth of hose. If you want to make it a little nicer, you can spend $7 on a quick connect, which you actually get 2 of them, and then you can just pop this thing off and take it with you, leave the hose in place. A barb fitting right there. I'm going to put that in the lid, and a $7 magnet catch. Now, you don't need that or that or that. You can just drill a hole in the top of this, stick the hose in there, then you can pull the hose out, take it with you. But then it leaves the top of your jug open when you're trying to carry it around, transport it, which I'm not a fan of, and that's how the Moto Jug one works. If you don't want to try and piece this together, Moto Jug sells their hose with a bite valve and the insulation and everything for $40. So you save about $10 over the way I did it. My stuff, $113. The Moto Jug with the Ozark Trail jug is $130, and it's $150 if you buy the Arctic jug, and you have to buy that jug on your own separately. Moto Jug doesn't sell them anymore. So what you could do with this, this Wrangland, it came like this. It's got a little pocket. You can put stuff in it if you want, but it's also got a MOLLE system, like military uniform stuff uses. It comes with these 2 straps, and it comes with this shoulder strap. So what you could do is, if you're not carrying luggage, you could just use these to tie it to your backrest or to your luggage rack. You could use this, around there and have it draped down here, and then you can strap it to the foot peg, which is what I'm going to do, because when I get on the bike, I'm usually on here and I'm stepping over. If I got to throw my leg up over the bike to the other side, trying to get onto it, I don't want to be kicking it on that side, so I'm going to put it over here. So let's go ahead and get this stuff into it and get it attached to the bike. Okay, I've got it installed on this side. Something else you're probably going to want to consider, if you're mounting it over here, you're going to be mounting it above your exhaust, and that's, even though it's insulated, that's probably not going to be the best idea. So over here, and I've checked, like stand up, sit down, get on and off the bike a few times. It's not in my way getting off and on the bike, so that's a good spot for it. So I've just got this shoulder strap up here around the rack. I've got one strap back there holding it back. I've got another strap here holding it back, and I mean, it's not going to be going anywhere. If those straps don't work to mount it, you can get 1-inch web straps on any hardware store will have these for about $2 a piece for something about 6 foot long, or a build your own kiosk or something like that you can use to make better straps, but I think this will work. Next, I'm going to drill a hole for this in the cap, and again, if you don't want to spend the money on this, you can just drill a hole somewhere in the top and make it just slightly smaller than your hose, so you have to compress the hose a little bit to get it in there. So now we just need to get a hose into the bottom of the tank. Okay, 21/64 drill bit. Okay, got just a little bit of 2-part epoxy on there to hold it in because there's not quite enough threads. 21/64 is enough that you can thread that in by hand. You don't have to tap it or anything, it's kind of thin. But yeah, the epoxy should help hold it in place. So while that's curing over here, what I'm going to do is put my helmet on, sit on the bike because it's important that you can get this to your mouth while you're sitting, and then we will install this hose magnet somewhere up here so that I know how much slack I need to get it to my face. Think this is a good idea?
I didn't hear all of it, so I don't know. Probably.
Just say, yeah, Dad, great idea.
It's probably a good idea.
That's good enough. I can use that in the intro. So I tested all this while I was sitting on the bike, and I can pick this up, bring it to my mouth inside my helmet. It runs around this side. You know, it's not getting pinched by the handlebars. I'm gonna have to put the insulation on it yet, but I'm gonna snug it up. I'm using this loop that is part of my giant loop tank bag anyway to help guide it. I can open and close it, get to my gas, you know, nice magnet there, and then I'm just gonna run it through here, under along the seat, and up into the tank. So like I said, I'm going to put this insulation on it because you don't want this stuff cooking in the sun and then all of a sudden you've got 150-degree water coming into your mouth. So let's put this on quick. Okay, I've got this all wound around through here. I've just got one zip tie loose to kind of hold it in position there so that when I go to refuel, everything's out of the way. I can get gas in it. Flip it back down into place. I can zip it up. You know, it all works. This is really nice. Just, whatever, just throw it back. Doesn't get in my way of anything, so now I just have to route this part the rest of the way down here. And this is a little bit short, but that's protecting all the stuff that's up in the sun. I might get another one of these and run it the rest of the way back, but I couldn't find a longer one on Amazon. That's where I got all this stuff from. And with the Moto jugs, I wouldn't be able to do this with the Moto jugs one. You'd have to just have it hanging here or something, because theirs is a lot shorter than this. So that's something to think about too. The Moto jug system, probably just going to have to run it up here like that. So here's a couple pro tips for you. The end of your pickup tube inside your jug needs to be cut at an angle like that, because if it's flat, it'll suck up against the wall or the bottom. Also, if you've got, you know, a hose barb laying around or something, I cut one in half, but putting a little weight in the bottom of the hose helps keep it down on the bottom. And if it's curled up, so it's like this inside your jug, just lay it somewhere hot out in the sun, straighten it out, let it cool off somewhere while it's being straightened out, like in the, you know, you could lay it, open up a service manual, lay it down in the middle of it, and let it cool down straight. Something like that, and it'll help it cool down and stay straight. Another thing you could do is, if you just want a solid pickup tube, you could get a piece of copper or stainless tube and just use a little chunk of this to go from the hose barb down into the inside of this, and then have a stainless steel pickup tube or whatever laying inside there. But otherwise that'll work if you straighten it out. Alright, so there it is. And a couple notes, like I am going to get another one of these just to go along here. If you can find longer ones, go for it. The one with Moto jugs is not gonna even be, the hose isn't even gonna be this long, so plan on much shorter routing or wearing it differently. I got the disconnect in here with these hose clamps. You might want to wrap them in tape or something because, you know, they do have sharp edges. Just make sure it's not rubbing against anything. I'm going to take this metal ring here off so it's not rubbing up against a saddlebag. And then a lot of these type of projects is just messing around for an hour or so with different straps and configurations, trying to figure out where to put it. So the ones it came with, yeah, I could use this shoulder strap and these little straps here to mount it, but these longer ones I got, you know, I'm just going up and over passenger seat. And again, when I've got passengers, a lot of this stuff comes off anyway, but up over the seat, and then it's supporting it. I've got it around the bottom of the foot peg so it's not going anywhere. And then I've got this other one through the passenger peg mount and through the heel guard, so it's not going to swing outward, it's not going to move around. And then whenever you think you have it done, you fill it with water and take it out and figure out why that strap isn't going to work. So when you go out and on your first ride, make sure you can throw it in a saddlebag or you can strap it down somewhere more secure in case it doesn't work. And the same is true like when you take camping luggage out for the first time. If it's the first time you've strapped it down that way, go ride for 10 miles, check the straps, ride another 30 or 40 miles, check the straps, because stuff comes loose. You know, with this, you don't really need rock straps, but you've seen them in my other videos. Rock straps are web strap with a section of elastic so it keeps them tight. That might be something you might want to look at for other mounting needs, but yeah, so there it is. You know, if I need to fill it up, I can just pop that loose. You know, take this loose, pull a jug out, fill it up with ice or whatever, hook it back up, away we go. One-handed, easy. What do you guys think? Well, obviously I need to cut this short and burn the end so it doesn't fray. But besides that, what do you think?
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, you still think it's a good idea, Riker?
Yes.
He said it was a bad idea?
He said maybe it's a good idea.
Maybe. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I'll just get one more section of insulation and... Oh, these things are soft ties for like computer cables and stuff. You know, they're just Velcro so you can pop them off if you need to. A lot easier to take apart on the road versus, you know, a zip tie. So I'll probably put one of those soft cable ties up here also. Now we got drinks.
Yay!
You guys sound so enthusiastic. Hey, Dad, can we go do something else now?
I'm thirsty.
Well, that's just what you've been doing. We got to fill it with water now. One tip is don't actually secure the hose on the inside here. You want to be able to just push that on. That way you can remove this to clean it if you need to.